Hello everyone, my name is Crystal Woolen. I'm an innovation specialist with the VA Western Colorado Healthcare System in beautiful Grand Junction, Colorado. You might think I'm here to talk to you today about peer support in our VSO models, and I will talk about those things. But the main reason I'm here today is to share a story with you. One that shows how partnership and collaborative relationships are breaking boundaries for our nation's veterans. But let me begin with a question. Who are the veterans that we serve? We know about their service connections, their illnesses and diagnoses, but do we really know the whole veteran and what being a whole veteran means to our veterans? The story I'm going to share with you is one of a veteran I personally know. Her story speaks to how veterans' lives can be transformed through the power of partnerships, specifically with VA, VSOs, and veteran nonprofits. But let me back up to where the story actually begins. I want you to imagine that you're this veteran. A veteran who was a reservist, called into action in combat following 9/11, pulled from college and deployed to Iraq in 2003. And upon returning from war, faced some severe life challenges: post-traumatic stress disorder, difficulties with school, divorce, homelessness, and unemployment. However, this story is not uncommon. In fact, it's all too familiar for many of our veterans. Now, services were available to help this veteran with many of her challenges, but she didn't know about them or how to access them. Until one day, by chance, she discovered the HUD-VASH program. That became a lifeline into the VA healthcare system. A better life, and it's the reason partnerships like this are so much very important. Now, let me come back to my reason for sharing this veteran's story with you. The reality is, connecting veterans to resources is not always easy. But when veterans can't get the help they need, they often fall through the cracks because of the silos that exist between VA, VSOs, and veteran nonprofits. The first model I want to share with you is the Resource Acquisition Clinic, or RAC as we call it at my site. It began in a very simple way: jumbled box of pamphlets, cards, and handouts that the psychologist who runs our PTSD clinic gave to me when I was a peer support. Now, pictured to my left is Dr. Kara Harmon. And she told me while she wanted to give her patients these resources to support their treatment, she didn't have the time to organize them, nor did she have enough knowledge about them to strongly encourage them to her patients. I soon learned that there were other psychologists and social workers like her who had their own jumbled collections of resources for their veterans. We recognized an opportunity and worked with partners to develop the Resource Acquisition Clinic. Now, RAC is a perfect example of partnership in action. And RAC with peer support provides continuity of care through all phases of transition and recovery. It empowers veterans to build their social networks outside of the VA, learn about resources and benefits, reconnect with other veterans, and increase confidence and mastery to reduce isolation or overcome limitations. These are some veterans here that have been through our RAC program I wanted to show you. Now, the ASAP program in Cincinnati and Richmond, that's the second model I want to talk to you about. And ASAP stands for Armed Services Arts Partnership. Now, they offer comedy, improv, and storytelling classes where veterans come together to explore, perform, and tell their stories. Now, I've heard many of these veteran stories. They speak about pivotal moments in their military service, challenges in their transition to civilian life, navigating marriage or parenthood, and universal moments of humanity. They tell stories of laughter, grief, triumph, trauma, and growth. VA subject matter experts with access to clinics, veteran patients, and experience in clinical research and innovation have joined forces to test and validate these programs together, with veterans recovering in the spinal cord and traumatic brain injury inpatient units. Now, a big part of becoming a whole veteran and one of the major challenges in transitioning service members' life is their work, their career after the military. And what better way to support veterans in that transition than helping them to launch their own businesses? That's what the Victory Garden Project is about. It's about engaging community partners such as Green Junction Farmstead, Field to Fork, and other local nonprofits to offer internships and educational opportunities to veterans. Training veterans interested in agriculture and innovative new ways of farming and methodologies, equipping them to reintegrate into their communities with a much-needed marketable skill, and most importantly, empowering veterans to lead healthier lifestyles and develop a new career. Now, I know you noticed that there's a puzzle piece missing in this, and I want you to know that that final piece is you. We're almost at the end of our time together. Do you remember the veteran I told you the story about in the beginning? That veteran happens to be me. And without these kind of partnerships, I would not be standing on this stage today. I personally know how challenging navigating life after service can be. I did it, but I could not have done it alone. I want you to imagine with me for one moment how the VA and all veterans' lives could be transformed if we work together. If you want to be involved with this work, join us in improving the lives of veterans everywhere. This is the future of VA healthcare, and we invite you to be a part of it. Please see my speaker bio for a link to a 2-question waggle on this project. Thank you.